Most people that come in here have either been to the emergency room, have seen another medical provider, maybe on the sidelines, an athletic trainer or a physician, and will, have already been assessed and been told that they've had maybe a concussion, that they need to be here for follow-up. Occasionally we get somebody that has not seen anybody. And so those are the ones that's like, you haven't seen anybody. Okay, well, we want to get right to the story and find out what the history is. Dan is somebody that him and I talked about a scenario, and he role-played very well. We see somebody that fell and hit their head. They don't always hit their head. Sometimes it's a whiplash. Sometimes it's a grazing of the head. He had the typical symptoms, and so when I went through the symptoms checklist, those are very typical symptoms. Now, sometimes we get people that they maybe don't have headaches, but they have something else that's just not normal for them. They feel a little sluggish or a little tired more than normal. They're not sick. Then we can maybe say they're not back to normal yet. So definitely not feeling 100% yet.
No, it's unfortunate because we have a game coming up.
Somebody might come in and say they feel fine, which happens a lot, and then I'll dig deeper, and I'll ask the parents, and I'll say, well, how is Johnny acting? How have they been doing at home? Are they acting not normal? Are they going to bed earlier? Are they not eating as much at supper time? We have to really ask the question. I need you to be honest with me. And if they're coming across as they're asymptomatic, but I'm questioning it, there's something that's not adding up, then I'm going to dig deeper and I'm going to look them straight in the eyes and I'm going to say, look, I'm not here to keep you out of sports. I'm here to protect you from yourself. You feel like the symptoms would be a little bit more that you just, things that we look for, do they know where they are and their awareness of space and time right now? And then we look at memory. And so typically, if we did baseline on Dan, would he do a little bit better? Because he did pretty well on the initial memory and concentration, but that recall, that delayed recall of those words, he didn't do as well as I would have anticipated. What were those 5 words I had you remember?
Onion was one of them.
Yep.
Couch?
Yep. If he said he was asymptomatic, and I use this tool and I say, okay, he didn't do as well on this. Okay, we're going to do the other test to validate what I screened him on. And so it kind of helps to checks and balances to do these kind of questionnaires, because we get a better sense of how they're doing. It can red flag us, though. So you got a 1 out of 5, which is, we would consider you're struggling a little bit with your recall. It's an inch by inch. Gradually you incorporate more. And that's what I want them to know as they leave, is that we're giving you the plan to help you get back as quickly as you can, but safely. But the kids that don't listen and they go back and do too much, they don't get better. And so that's what I want them to leave with. And so through the assessment, through their symptoms, I have a gauge of where they're at now. And then I'll tell them, to get to this point, you need to do all these things. It's nice to meet you. And so I tried to emphasize that with Dan a little bit too. Hopefully you'll be better in a week.